Hello, everybody, and welcome back to A Critical Look. You're like, wait, what the fuck's A Critical Look? Yeah, that's that one.
Been a minute.
We started it a couple of times. The goal of this show is, my name's HSR.
My name's Chris Chrome.
I'm DJ Pyrotik.
He's my brother. His name's Adam. And he didn't want me to say that, but he's my brother, so fuck that.
All right, screw it. Go with Adam.
This is a Critical Look. This is the one where we talk about more topical things. So it's not a review. It's more of a discussion. And
a free flow.
Yeah, we're going to just kind of roll with it, however long it turns out to be, etc. To introduce just a little bit of kind of, it's my suggestion of a topic. It was something I saw this meme that was like, oh, how can Tekashi 6ix9ine and Lil Pump or whoever the fuck it is be
Tekashi 6ix9ine and Lil Pump
be like winning on the charts and dissing J. Cole and shit like that.
Okay, so basically the post basically said, how can Tekashi 6ix9ine and Lil Pump go after J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, who and nowadays are considered to be like these top grade artists, and all of these, and they're calling Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole trash, and now everybody, well, all right, people in hip hop are trying to figure out like how are you gonna call them trash when you're trash and everybody's trash and all this shit.
Okay, but really the meme wasn't really what like kind of bothered me. It's more of it triggered me, I guess you could say. So it's a little bit of a ongoing something I've been thinking about. Now, maybe this might not even be the only piece of content we end up producing on this subject, but basically I started thinking about it. All right, like we have a J. Cole, we have Kendrick and stuff, and these guys do go #1. But really, what we have a lot. Well, they do, because these guys go #1. Because there's the big, let's say the big 3 or 4, they're gonna win. Everybody knows who they are. They represent the lyrical camp. But who's number like 8? You know?
What do you mean by no?
But my point is like we all know who the top guys are, and then the charts are kind of dominated with whatever the trends are for pop, right?
Right.
And that's just kind of the situation as is, we'll say. Whether or not anybody likes it, that's what's going on. So what happens is, and I suppose it's weird, generational almost, because I'm certain my parents did the same thing and their parents did the same thing, but now we got a new wave of like 30-something-year-old guys who grew up on, let's say, golden era hip-hop and lyrical shit. Let's say all this stuff that was like pre-2003. That's my arbitrary cutoff.
Right.
That's the best shit ever. And so they're hearing stuff like the Uzis and the Yachties and the stuff that's out now, the mumble rap, and the haters are hating. They're hating hard, right? And what you're seeing is this climate almost of a bunch of old guys who are mad at the young guys for winning. And that's how I'm looking at the situation a little bit, right?
Okay. I have a few things. To chime into. First off, when you say Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and like the big 3, first off, how do they become the big 3?
Grammys, recognition.
But who's in charge of like nominate? Like who gives you that? Is what I'm trying to get at.
They earn it,
like,
right? So I feel like Kendrick Lamar kind of filled a role that was left vacant by somebody like a Eminem. That big hole, that superstar that has pop appeal, that like your mom.
But to a certain group though, because like Eminem for certain people is legendary still, right? But now Kendrick is legendary in a certain era that he is now. Kendrick doesn't have the same level as Eminem, we could say.
I can guarantee you that Kendrick Lamar has the staying power of an Eminem.
Staying power, but they're not looked at the same level.
I don't agree. I think they're totally looked at the same level. That's why on that one album, like the only rap features Kendrick that Eminem put out and whatever. I don't know. I'm not really trying to go in that direction. It's not so much who determines who the top guys are, right? So let's say, my point is, we all support the J. Cole, we all support the Kendrick, and that's actually kind of maybe to the point.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Because we, collectively, the young ones, the old ones, the new and the old, all found our little appeal, and pretty much everybody gets together and pushes. People spend money to go to a Kendrick Lamar show. They buy his merchandise.
Right, but now if you think about this, kids spend money or spend parents' money to go to Lil Pump.
Exactly.
So at the same time, we who are spending money to go to Kendrick, who are supporting Kendrick, there's that same or even maybe a bigger majority that are just so interested in what Lil Pump is making. I'm not trying to sit here and defend Lil Pump. I don't think...
Well, okay. Let's take a step back. And you can feel free to chime in whenever. You know, this isn't just me and Chris talking. Adam, just pointing it out. But, like, let's talk a bit about how the charts work. Let's just be real here. So, in 2018, let's say Billboard. Everybody looks at Billboard. Or let's say Spotify, or the different charts. So how is this shit calculated? Well, on Apple and stuff, it's going to probably be a combination of sales and streams. On Billboard, it's sales, streams, and YouTube views.
Do you possibly know how they calculate the streams exactly? Like I know, sales is obviously how many songs you sell.
16,000 plays counts as one sale, or it's some ridiculous number like that. But there is a way to take 35 million plays and translate that into moving 50,000 units or something like that.
That kind of also breaks down that whole thing of why there's been more longer plays and stuff, longer playlists and stuff.
Maybe
as a track setup, an album setup.
I think that's a bit of a monetization move, but that isn't necessarily going. See, that would be more like
the Migos album is 24 tracks.
Again, so that would be more like people aren't making as much. They want to make sure they make as much money as possible. And yes, I'm certain to a degree it would be, but to me, a move like that feels more like you're struggling and you're trying to recapture the moment.
Right.
I don't know if it's actually a good idea, but you're right. It's feel about that. So understanding that the charts is based off of album sales, which count the most, streams, which count the least, and whatever. And then in general, an artist's ability to keep producing music and get the advertising they need to reach more people is going to be based on their revenue, which is highly generated off of the combination of the sales and the streams, and then you're going to have the merchandise sold as well as, let's say, the show money. So understanding that's just the world, right, where it's at.
But that sounds anyway. But that still comes down to who's buying the product.
Right. So let's go into this a little bit deeper here, because there is a little bit of a point to this. How does Lil Pump chart? Well, here's the thing.
He charts well for the people who listen to him.
Let me answer the question. So he charts well because at the end of the day, I'm going to do a little math here, a little abstract math. So let's pretend that J. Cole and Lil Pump drop a thingy today. Let's just pretend. I'm using J. Cole and Lil Pump Arbor. You know what? I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna take a step back.
Review the album,
we're gonna take a step back. It's not even that whatever. Do you see that you're drama shit? But let's be practical and pragmatic.
Out of the way, okay?
Okay, pragmatic shit here. So we take rapper 1, and rapper 1 represents mumble rap, and rapper 2 represents lyrical shit. Now I like lyrical guy because he's dope and he makes me think and feel, and kids like whatever because it's the equivalent of going to a rave and mashing out. Right? That's why they want to pump. They want to mosh, they want to fucking party, and they want to get faded and hear some good tunes.
Right.
And that's part of the lifestyle. My lifestyle is old and boring, so I'm looking for more deep stuff.
But that's...
So let me finish because you're not letting me finish.
Right.
So shh. And then, so the math comes into it. So these guys drop a project on day 1. And let's pretend for the sake of things that 10% of everybody who is 30 years old buys this project. Does it all.
Wait. Which project?
The lyrical guy. The one that they want to support, obviously. Not the mumble rapper guy that they want to hate on. And these guys are all hating. They're all hating on this guy.
Official.
They're like, oh, fuck this. I can't believe the new guy's out. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. And everybody online, this is the rabble. Lyrical rapper's the greatest motherfucker ever. Fuck these new guys. And the new guys are all like, oh, fuck the old guys. And, the classic fucking beef.
Right.
So then you have 10% of, let's say, the 30-year-olds actually buy the album.
Right.
10% of the 18-year-olds buy the album.
There's a bigger majority of 18-year-olds, though, and that 10% is not the equivalent 10%.
So if we take that nominally, just on that alone, that means that 18-year-old guys are picking the market because there's more 18-year-olds than there are 30-year-olds. That's just facts. So let's go one step further. The reality is 30-year-olds don't buy music and support their artists. They like to complain on the internet, and to quote Drake, they like their Twitter fingers. And the 18-year-olds, well, they basically live for music. They go to shows.
Hold on. You lost me. Hold on.
30-year-olds aren't buying albums.
But if the 30-year-olds are not buying albums...
It's kind of built into the point. So the 30-year-olds aren't buying albums. That means that they're loud, they're vocal, they're talking a lot of shit, but they're not buying the albums. They're barely streaming the shit because they're busy. They probably have jobs and girlfriends and wives and lives and children.
But doesn't stream, but don't...
Shh. Hear me out.
Yeah.
How the hell are you supposed to get the amount of streaming that an 18-year-old who has nothing better to do than to sit around all day and listen to his favorite song on repeat? In fact, if his favorite artist goes, yo, stream my shit all day, they can just do that because they're probably skipping class or having a good old time and being young and having fun. They're probably able to go to the shows. They probably actually are following music. They're probably paying attention to the underground guys.
Okay.
They're probably finding all this stuff because, and I get you that number if we go back, it's less than 10% and 30 who actually support, who actually go through with it. And if you go to the 18-year-olds, it's probably a lot more than 10% who actually support. If you just think about kids in band shirts and concerts and stuff, it's all young people. So what I'm trying to imply here is that the power of the dollar is kind of like the significant factor here, right? It's what ultimately determines trends, not quality. It's going to determine what kind of pops, right? So ultimately, if we really put this all together a little bit, what we're seeing is a lot of old men hating on the internet and doing nothing about the problem, and a bunch of young kids actually pushing behind their artist and literally changing the sound into something different. So I guess that kind of left me with a little bit of so if we really want to see, let's say, lyrical rapper beat mumble rapper, then knowing that there's more 18-year-olds pushing their shit, how are we supposed to deal with that situation? We can complain about it.
Well, I don't know. I had a thought.
Do you have thoughts, by the way? You know, you're here. You're on camera. You haven't said a thing.
What is your view on Little Pump music?
Yeah. How do you feel?
Straight up.
I mean, it's not really my flow. It's not something I would honestly, like, listen to on my free time.
Aim at the mic, dude.
Like, it's just not something I'm down for, to be brutally honest with
But,
you.
like, do you hate on it? Be honest.
I mean, I can, yes. When I'm in the mood for it, yes.
But, like,
say so.
do you go out there and, like, not to throw you under the bus a bit, that's not really why you're here, but, like, do you actually buy anything to fight the wave of, let's say, do you stream all day long on your favorite artists and stuff? Like, do you actually...
Definitely not.
Right.
Fair.
Now,
But my thing is that I'm trying to get into is, like, we hear older hip-hop heads, as you say, complaining about the newer generation.
it's not just hip-hop, it's fucking everybody.
Right.
And this
I'm also
transcends to,
kind
like,
of
everything.
thinking, I'm also kind of looking at it from, and I feel like, me personally, I'm stuck in the middle because I enjoy older hip-hop from what we've done throughout, like, you know, Classic Quest and everything.
To be fair, reluctantly so, it's grown on you.
Yes, and I also was born when the era of hip-hop was changing, and now I'm into the new stuff. What I've noticed, though, is right now with a lot of the older hip-hop artists that are basically kind of quote-unquote attacking or going after these mumble rappers, they're not even helping the situation. I get what they're trying to say. I get that they're like, you need to respect, you need to do this, such A, B, Z, whatever. But my thing is these mumble rappers show a sense of kind of like respect to each other, kind of show a sense of respect to their music that they do, their trap sounds and stuff. Hold on. And their fans also see that. And their fans have that type of loyalty within each other, right? So if I'm a Little Pump head and you're a Little Pump head, we're on the same team because we have that loyalty.
I'm totally
Hold
not
on.
a Little Pump head.
But
Right.
But
But hold on, wait.
Just to add to that, is that probably any different than when we were young?
Here's
Emos
what I'm trying to get at, though. Here's what I'm trying to get at. My issue is, instead of bashing all of them, we need to kind of show that same type of respect and support. There was one rapper, oh my fucking God, I want to say T.I., but I'm probably wrong.
Sure.
But one of these rappers kind of came out and said, like someone who's been in the game for a long, he came out and he said, he's like, yo, I fuck with these artists. I fuck with them because they are who they are and they are the new wave. And we can't, if we want them to change, we can't hate on them. We have to help guide them. So I feel like instead of a lot of the old hip-hop heads who are shitting on all the new kids who listen to the new music, it's like, why don't you just accept that the new music is the new music, but also try to guide them into...
That's kind of I think that's, like, lame. I feel like I'm actually kind of come at it from the opposite point of view. If you don't like a Yachty, that's cool. You have two choices. You can do what our parents did. And what our parents did was wind. And as a result, music evolved. It moved on. And let's be honest, the shit that they listen to is probably never going to come back again proper, mostly because of haterism. right? Like, I mean, you saw Mommy like disco and shit.
Yo,
like
I still listen to that disco.
you
What
do.
you mean?
I don't like it, but like, let's be real.
Yo, preference of choice, man. Like, you decide what you want on the music you listen to. I mean, everyone's free to the music they want
at the
and what
mic.
they feel.
At the mic.
Like, if you feel the music that makes you feel you, bro, go with it. Like, don't get me wrong. I personally don't have preference on any of these 4 rappers. I really don't, because I'm not into that. But at the same time, I do have a feel that if they do have a fan base and they are pushing forward and trying to become something, that's where they're going with it. You know,
like,
you gotta respect them for that.
So like when we came in, Adam was like, "Fuck Lil Somebody, I don't want to listen to that." So
I don't want to listen to that.
But like, which is fine, and I think that everybody here is entitled to that opinion. I don't necessarily want to put on a Gucci Gang. However, I've listened to enough music to understand that Gucci Gang's fine. But I guess really what I would like to see is, instead of us being like a shithead, so let's say you take this negativity, all these, especially when you have fucking Lil Xans and stuff going on with the Tupacs and whatnot, and kind of creating almost a climate of everyone judging everyone based on the same shit.
Hold on. That climate of the whole Tupac thing, I feel like that's just another
But it's more like
result of what we've driven hip hop to be. Like
you're right, but I think what I'm trying to convey is that, I mean, you're right. That might be a byproduct of this situation. I think that's what you're trying to say. But what I'm trying to convey is that the, like I saw Ebro, I think it is, the little fucking guy from Hot 97, and he put Lil Xan on his show, and he just bullied this fucking 18-year-old kid. Like, he just bullied him. Like, flat out, like, this is a guy who, I don't like to say this, but he deserved a box in the face for how he bullied Lil Xan for profit on fucking thing. Like, it was disgusting behavior. Like, it was disgusting. Lil Xan might not be your cup of tea, but bringing him on a show as like a, he's older than me. He's like a 40-something-year-old guy, and embarrassing this child who honestly is probably accidental. However he got there, I don't care. But you're basically an old man bullying a kid. That's what I saw in that moment. So then what you see is that kind of happens. And whether or not anyone deserves a Lil Xan is there, but you have a bunch of old people because of that moment having Lil Xan become like the poster child of these kids. And then fucking having like all the old
shit.
It's you know, and it's because of guys like Ebro being fucking haters.
But then he becomes like the poster child for kids who get bullied by other people.
Right.
It's like we're trying
so
to.
it's kind of like it bonds them. Meanwhile, it takes all these kids seeing that happen and be like, "What the fuck? That's all these old men are. They're just trying to bully us. They're just trying to fuck around with us." Right.
And that's not a good
you
mentality.
See where I'm coming from? So it's like a little bit like, I think you're right. I think that the idea should be people should be allowed to listen to what they want to, right? They should be allowed to. But if you don't like it, being a hater is part of the problem, because I saw the most interesting thing. Do you know that to be a star, like a Hollywood star type thing,
requires, like Kanye level?
Yeah, it requires you to be equally loved and hated. So if you don't have the haters, you can't be a star.
Well, right, because you need people who are going to consider.
So basically,
because people who like you are gonna, like, you know, repost, retweet, reshare all the good stuff and stuff like that. But that doesn't get conversation. That's not part of the conversation. You need that drama to get the conversation. So part of it is when somebody comes in and goes, you know what, fuck a little Pump, fuck a little Xan. You know what? As much as I don't listen to Lil Xan. Or I don't listen like to all of Lil Pump's. Like, I like Gucci Gang. I'm gonna admit that. It makes me kind of want to go and listen to see and why don't you like this guy? And I think, and it's part of that promotion too.
Honestly, that happened to me. And so I saw a video that fact checked how repetitious Pump is, and he's definitely got hundreds of words he uses. He's definitely got verses that are as diverse as other guys in his lane, perhaps. It's not, basically what I'm trying to say is that the criticisms that they get are not necessarily valid there. But that's not really the point. I think the point here is that being a hater validates them and creates the star. But on the other hand, being a hater doesn't actually bring light to artists. Like, how many times have you heard somebody be like, you were a DJ.
I was a DJ. So,
like, when you were in the DJ scene, let's just go a little tangent here and make sure you have a chance to talk. There must have been, like, the old heads who were like, this is the purest way of doing this.
100%.
And then there must have been, like, the new heads that were like this, that, the next thing.
But of course.
So, like, do you see the same thing in, like, electronic music as kind of what we're describing here happening?
I mean, to a degree I do, 100%. I see that a lot of it's alternating and turning
the mic.
alternating and turning into more of an electronic feel, and that's going across the like board, including rap, hip hop, pop, all of it. They're all just jumping on the electronic train right now, which is obviously like causing like electronic music to veer off into its own light. Which I mean, for some degree, people like me really enjoy that, but for other people, they're just hearing noise in their ears because that's literally all it comes down to.
But let me ask you a question though. When you were a DJ, you had your certain era in your own genre, right?
Hardstyle.
Like you had your own time, right?
Right.
Well, of course I did, but I
Right.
was also very outgoing with all of it.
No, of course.
honest.
But what I'm saying is like when you were a DJ, you had your own time, and then things started shifting. How?
Okay, I mean,
How
like
do-
you basically DJ'd over hardstyle's popularity lifespan, right? Like you jumped in around the beginning, you got known for it as the sound started, like the modernish version of the sound, and then it must have started to move on because none of these sounds seem to last
Well,
more
of
than a year.
course. I mean, hardstyle turned into hardstep, which turned into drum
That
set.
So I
transition.
guess- okay.
How did that transition affect you?
Well, I guess
is what I'm
it's
trying to
more.
ask.
Did you encounter the same kind of hatred going on? Like,
To
were
be
you
honest, not really for the electronic scene, no, because like unless it was something
like online?
I wouldn't look into electronic
Okay.
controversy online. That's the thing. Like I don't see electronic controversy. I see a lot of controversy in the hip hop like areas.
What about
but, like,
what about from like the fans? Would the fans kind of debate the purity of the music and what's good, what's bad? And did you find maybe? I don't know. Maybe this is going nowhere, but like I just wonder if like the fact, because in our case, it's not. This isn't the artist. The artist who do it is actually it's its own topic. The artists who expect fans to listen to a certain thing, they're idiots.
Hold on.
It's a customer service
Remember,
game. But
we had a
like,
conversation, I think it was like a year ago or something, about Skrillex. When Skrillex became Skrillex, he was in a band before, right?
yeah,
If I'm
from
wrong.
first to last.
So it's kind of like that. Like, what is that difference between the artist from like back then and then the new artist now?
I mean, like, I'll admit, when I was a younger child, I was a trashy idiot who would, like, fully hate hardcore on stuff like that because
Right.
that's just what it was
Perfect.
at that point.
let's go back to that guy. So if you were that guy and you were a pure hater mode and you were feeling this new thing, let's say, right? Or the
Okay.
old thing. You were feeling
I
a
was definitely
thing.
on the old vibes, but yes.
So you were feeling the old thing and you were feeling the new stuff was crap and you were young and you were feeling that way. If I came up to you and shat on your opinion in a meme, would it help you listen to what I want you to listen to?
Probably not. I just...
That's what I'm
looked
trying
at
to
it
say here.
pathetically.
So you'd honestly probably go listen to more of what you wanted and completely start to even hate maybe a little bit of what I was trying to promote.
Yeah, I would say to a degree I would.
Without even acknowledging what it is.
Right.
But that's
I mean,
also
on the same level, I would honestly look into it at a point, but if I didn't like
Right.
what I was listening to, then damn
but
straight
So-
it's not the same.
like-
It's not like, here, listen to this. You're not going to go right away. You're going to do it on your own time.
But like then
Well,
imagine
yeah, of course.
imagine if like I was able to instead do something cool and be like, yo, check out my lyrical guy. Check out the progress of how my lyrical guy turned into that and why it's super cool that you should also bump the lyrical guy because the two of them together make the perfect party.
I
Like,
was going to say, why can't they alternate both? And just like bring
But
the
it-
new
it-
gen of that.
It sounds like it comes down to approach, like the way that you
Exactly.
were saying it. Like if we went up to Adam and we were like, your hard style is shit. No. Listen to lyrical. Well, clearly we're not really respecting what you like. So you're not even going to want to bother with what we're doing right now until you feel comfortable enough to do it. So yeah, it comes down to an approach on how we're approaching
Okay.
the situation of this divide in music.
So I think we can establish that there's a certain degree of blame then that goes on to the fact that Lil Pump is what he is because all heads are haters. We've established that.
I also want to just bring one more thing.
That's
though.
probably a lot of you who subscribe to the channel. Our hatred, those of you who are like not haters, it obviously, but those of you who like in your heart do not like the new rap, if you are vocally hating towards it, it's all I'm trying to convey is
It's helping it.
I no longer
It's
believe it's
helping it.
conducive to anything useful for anyone's cause.
All
in terms
you're
of-
doing is putting Little Pump and Little
Anyway,
Xan
let's
on
go-
the top
let's go-
fucking billboard while you hate about it.
Sure, but what can you do is the more interesting point.
Well-
so we have to go back to that numbers game, knowing that let's pretend this is like a fucking war, right? This is a war of numbers and algorithms and understanding the technology. So I want to see, like we just did K Rhino. Now I'm going to say it again because, I mean, I don't even know if when the reviews come out and stuff. This might come out first.
Fair enough,
But,
yes.
like, so we just reviewed this K Rhino album. And this guy is everything every old head ever wanted, but he has, like, 1,000 fucking views on his latest Q&A. His channel has 1,700 subscribers. It's entirely possible that we pass K Rhino on YouTube. Like, that's so fucking whack. This guy's 35 years into the game and shit, right? Now, I might buy the guy's album now because we didn't buy it due to I had some money constraints now for our review. But I may go out of my way and buy some of his product just to show some support because that's the thing is these unit sales count. So if you go to this guy's Spotify and he has like 1,000 fucking plays, then he's not going to win.
But
so
hold on,
what can we do?
Well,
We can act like the kids.
But you know when maybe you're able to sit at your desk all day and stream music all day.
Why do you... Let me go a little bit differently. What's to say when you go to bed, you make a little playlist of all your favorite artists, and you loop it?
Only because I'm only saying, and I get where you're going at. Only reason why I said that is because we were also talking a little earlier, and you mentioned kids skipping school and doing shit.
Whatever.
Like, so they have more
to
playtime.
answer your question...
But I'm also looking at it as, hello, that 20-minute drive from work to home.
No, it's not enough time.
Well,
it's just not enough.
But it's enough time to jam one song of K Rhino.
Yeah, but
which is also one more stream.
But
times that by 5 people. That's 5.
It's not enough. I think you're missing the math part of the earlier problem. That's why it's not enough. We can't make the effort like that. It has to be smarter. It has to be bigger, better, and stronger than.
So it sounds like
So it sounds like
the
you
public,
should let
have
me
to
finish
calculate.
my point because you don't know what you're saying right now.
Well, that could be a thing too.
So shush. And basically, we have to think smarter. So instead of just bumping it, then fucking use your time and listen to your podcast. Get your knowledge on and hustle. Don't listen to him. He doesn't get it. Instead, when you go to bed, have a playlist set up where you take your favorite artist and that album and you loop it. Or you take that album and you play it on repeat. So for the entire course of the 8 hours you're sleeping, your computer just runs that album playing and clocks up those fucking views. And then we all do some shit like that. So you're right, coordinate a little bit. That's strategy 1. But that's not really where the views come from. So if it takes like 16,000 plays on Spotify to do it, okay, but we all have jobs probably. If you don't have a job and you do not have the money for this, this next section doesn't apply to you. But I know that if I really wanted to take a rapper like a K Rhino on his new thing, I could buy 5 copies of his disc. If I really wanted to do something, if I cared about saving hip-hop, I could go and take my favorite rappers and not buy 1 copy. I could buy 5 copies. We could all buy, not everyone. You have to have the money to be able to afford to do this, obviously. But instead of maybe buying alcohol or going to the movies or any of these things, go buy a couple.
Step it up.
Like go even buy 1 copy of your favorite rapper's disc, and you will be worth probably 5,000-6,000 kids worth of effort.
Look,
just one disc sale, you know?
To take that further, even if you and again, no disrespect to anybody who doesn't have the money or anything like that. We do live in 2018. There is Wi-Fi everywhere. There is friends with phones and everything.
Let's not go back to telling them to stream. We've covered that they should stream.
I'm just saying, y'all can make the effort no matter which way.
I'm not asking
Be
people.
that kid at the party that puts on K Rhino.
That sounds like a not smart move if the party doesn't support it. That's not even party
never
music.
know unless
it's
you
not
take the
party
risk.
music. That's not the right approach.
Listen.
Well, you can't just... Do you think dense lyrical hip-hop over, like, 90s griminess works at most parties? I mean, you were a DJ. At most parties.
I mean, I could bump with that 90s grime all day, though.
But, like, at most parties, do you think throwing on that random song is going to be
But then here's my question.
If you mix it in just right with that new age flow...
And everybody knows the song?
But that's it, though. Everyone knows
But
the song.
here's my question. Here's my question, though. Walk into any party, drop a Gucci Gang, and you have the result
because
of what
it's
Gucci...
party music.
Right, so what I'm trying to say is this, like...
But that's not...
If you're gonna hate on Gucci Gang or that type of music, and you're not willing to actually go out and put the music you want to promote, how are you supposed to show out? How are you supposed to show everyone else? Like, how are you supposed to support that?
By buying the damn album. Because what really matters is where that shit charts on Billboard.
Right, of course, buying the album works, but also making that effort to go out and be like, yo, listen to this artist.
But if you came to my party and you killed my vibe by putting on that random song, I'd kick you out of my party.
Well, at least I
So-
still put on the song.
No, I'm saying that's actually. So then what's going to happen is all those people are going to now not like the song because you put it on at the wrong time.
Fair.
So I don't think
that makes
like
sense.
you're kind of judging people in ways that are unfair here. I'm saying here are options on how you can like counter the situation, and you're casting shame on people who aren't trying hard enough the way you feel makes sense. I'm not saying that you should go to the party. In fact, what I would rather you do is go to the party and put on your local rapper's fucking song. That would be cool. Get your local music scene in at your local parties. But let's talk about the fact that there are lyrical guys like AZ's dropping music, big old Nas friend AZ. Fucking all these lyrical guys. Wu-Tang's project came out. All these people that even existed back then. Now how hype they are, how relevant they are, that's on you. That's what I'm trying to go with. And how to make that happen is know the system. Streams count. Watching the music video counts. This and that counts. So instead of wanking it over the internet with each other about memes. So check it. What happens when we share our hate? This is what happens. Let's say Chris and I are on Team Hater, and you are on Team Non-Hater. Okay?
I'm all alone.
Right. So what will happen then is I share the hater moment.
Right.
Now, you're less inclined to buy my guy's shit. Right? Because you're hated on. You agree with me, but have I encouraged you to buy my guy's shit? No.
You lost me.
So
Me and you were hating on
Me.
No.
your type of style, is what
Yeah,
I'm understanding.
like-
and he is not hating on anything.
No, he likes the other type of style, but he is supporting that artist, and because of that, that artist is at number one. So I'm saying, why the fuck is he supporting that artist? What a fucking idiot.
Right, but I agree with you on why he's
But are
supporting that.
you now actually trying harder to support your artist because I said that?
But do we agree on the same artist?
Yeah.
Well, then inevitably, yes.
No. You're not buying his record. You're not even trying to spin it more. You're just liking and sharing my status and moving on with your day.
Okay, that's
That's
your
the
point.
reality of the situation, right? So you're not doing the things you then need to do to change the situation.
But what, like,
which
I guess
we-
that's case by case, because if I am, I am. But I get your
Well,
point.
no, I'm saying that if we were trying to change the situation, for every time we put that hater moment out there, the math equation resolves that the people who are against us in that moment are less inclined to support the guy we want, and the people who support our guy aren't encouraged to actually support the guy properly. They're just kind of left with this hater moment so we can all hate together. But now you've shared my hate, so now him and his whole squad feel a certain way, and we're not still buying that record, and we're not still doing our due diligence to change it. Like, say what you will about this channel, but we do try to make the effort to review the newer stuff so that we're not a bunch of ignorant haters. And I can tell you that Lil Yachty is misrepresented by old folk. I can tell you that Lil Uzi Vert's Tour Life 3 is fucking practically Song of My Year last year. It was so good. Lil Peep is fire, and I don't care what anyone says, because if you listen to these kids, they have something to say that if you go back to being 18, you could relate to.
Which really strikes me, because it's like, they really have something to say. Old school hip hop had really something to say.
They
It's
might
just-
still. But I think the problem is that
I'm talking old school hip hop because my question to you, because I wouldn't know this, are the older hip hop heads buying the new Nas album that comes out, if it ever does or whatnot?
I don't think they will. I think
So
they'll fucking
that's-
stream it less
But
than the kids.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because
Now-
it's like Nas has been, again, this is
So-
all hypothetical if he drops an album, all right? Nas back then was certain way.
Let's go back to your Kendrick question. Way on. How did Kendrick and them chart? Probably because we buy the physicals, and enough of us buying the physicals outweighs
my
all
whole
the
point to
streaming.
that was just, if we want for me, I believe that if we want hip hop to change, we have to start supporting the artists that what we think could change hip hop. And it's funny because I see these like stupid memes on Facebook where you've got like Tekashi, Little Pump,
this is how we started the conversation.
right, and all this
Now
stuff.
we're just circling.
But I'm just like, no, because the
Right? We're not circling. Isn't this where we started with a Tekashi meme and Lil
no,
Pump?
but not that one. I'm
just
saying like,
saying, I don't think we even hit Akashi yet. I don't even
Tekashi.
think we hit Tekashi, whatever. No.
There's nothing wrong with it.
The whole-
So wait, what do you feel about that guy?
I don't like this guy.
So okay, let's cut the child situation. The
that's
underage
whole
situation.
reason, but
Let's
right
move
there,
that out of
I
it.
can't. That's the whole reason. Like, I refuse to even touch his music because of that reason.
So let me ask you a question then. So you come across a Tekashi 6ix9ine fan. What are you gonna say to him?
How can you represent a man that done these things? Like,
So all you've done is made that guy a bigger fan.
well, cool story.
No, but really, if you really think about everything we're saying now, the
Because
whole
touching little children makes people more like in
But
time.
hold on.
that's not
The
what's at
music,
debate.
like, that's messed
Everybody
up, man.
everybody can clearly state that his child fuckery was a very honestly, everything about that story is fucked up. This guy should not be in the position he's in. I don't care how good his music is. I agree with you. But do you think that given the fact that he's still charting bigger than ever, and if anything, he's now hated enough to be a star? Like, do you see where I'm coming from? How you actively hating.
So is Justin Bieber all over again with Baby?
But Justin Bieber is a very different situation because
How?
Justin
Bieber was completely and utterly hated, discriminated, despised, and
He
then magically
apologized.
he popped up, boom, kaboom.
Well,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
because I can say that the story behind is very different. But if you're trying to say that Justin Bieber's haters helped him get there, then
Oh yeah,
yes,
100%.
then that's actually a very good point. So all the haters of Justin Bieber.
Like, he had more hated views on Baby than like anything on YouTube by far. But at the same time, because of all that hatred, everyone got to hear that song, right? Like, I want to
that's
know
super
what
fair.
everyone's hating on. You got to figure that
That's
out
true.
too.
That's the point
So
of it.
I
though.
wouldn't know what a Gucci Gang was if like the entire internet hadn't told me. That's a good way of looking at it, because I frankly don't go out of my way to seek out that kind of music, but I also have been following the more hip hop media things. I've been following stuff more, and all I see is people hating on these guys and then people defending these guys. So the topic of conversation doesn't turn into who are the dope lyrical underground artists you should know about today? 10 great lyrical underground artists you should hear today. 10 great MCs you've never heard of today. These are videos you motherfuckers should be making. All you haters out there that are making the hater videos for the views, at least splice in some of this shit. Take a hit on a couple of your videos.
I just
Stop
think that
chasing the
everyone-
dollar sign, you know? Like, if you want to be a hater, at least have some fucking purpose with it.
Personally, I think that if we just stopped hating, time would take its course. I mean, the way I'm seeing it, if I tell you this, if I tell one of you so-and-so is trash, one of you is going to go watch the video I'm talking about, the other one won't. And if that happens for every group of 3,
There you go.
That's
See, it's a
initially
math
what it is.
equation.
It's always like, I get it. I'm not telling anybody to not hate. You want to hate, fine. But acknowledge the fact that the more you hate, the more money these people make. Why? Because if you're going, oh, I hate that fucking Little Pump video. Well, which video?
No,
Oh, the one with the
let's
pink
just
hair
go-
and the tiger.
I
And then that
just
gives
wanna-
him another view.
I just want to
and-
go like one step further. Now, if you are an artist in this conversation, and as an artist, you judge your fan for not buying your shit and not supporting you because they're supporting that guy, well, now you're just a fucking jealous hater, right? Like, you're just a guy who is upset that, or a woman, that people aren't digging your shit. And look, man, I put countless hours into building shit. I know exactly what it feels like to sit there and watch stuff that I don't think is as good as what I do pop. But if I were to come out here, okay, let's look at the YouTube thing briefly. Let's tangent there. As YouTube creators, my heart was crushed when at like 700 subscribers or some shit like that, we got an email from YouTube saying, guess what, or it was maybe even 800.
Bye.
Like, you're out until you break 1,000, which we've done. Yeah, buddy. But like, it took that 2.5 month period. I watched so many small creators complain about YouTube. I've watched so many big creators complain about YouTube. Hit that bell button. Make sure you hit that bell button, motherfucker. If you don't fucking hit that bell button, you don't fucking love me because you don't want to watch every piece of video that I've ever put out. That's what I hear every
annoying.
fucking time. Do you hear that shit?
I'm not gonna lie, I hear that shit and I go away. I don't even want to bother watching.
And like,
that video
I'm
no
saying
more.
Philip DeFranco does this, and it makes me like, I find more and more of his show gets dedicated to whining about how we're not supporting him enough to achieve his ambitious goals. So maybe he's right. But all I'm saying,
it comes down to the approach.
right? And
'Cause
so
I like,
look, I just want to go one step further with this what happened on YouTube thing. So if you consider people under 1,000 subscribers who had less than 20,000 watch time, so the people who were impacted by this. Now, if you were under 1,000 subscribers, but you had the watch time, and you made more than $10 a month, you weren't living off of YouTube. Like, it's the best you were doing, $10, $15 a month.
Right.
Otherwise, your subscriber rate's bullshit and you're not a good creator. Now, on the other hand of things, like, look, there's just no... I was doing well based on all this shit, and I'm saying our best month is like $15. How the hell is anyone living off of YouTube on $15? The amount of money that was lost is ego. It's fucking ego. You all had jobs. Or I hope. Because, like, what the fuck was all this complaining shit? So it takes somebody like him who maybe now doesn't even want to watch YouTube videos as much, right?
Yo, that meme culture is disgusting.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't watch that. But, I mean, you're right. So if you have somebody, and you got to just think about it. All of this stuff is whenever you have these opinions, I guess, to like kind of whatever, is you're an ambassador of the product or brand. So if you judge people for not liking what you like or not supporting you the way that you want to be supported, you just alienate and push people away is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So all of that was kind of tied into this. So to answer a question of why is certain rapper popping and your guy's not popping, well, the real answer is we're all haters. That's the answer to the question. How do we change it? Hate less, buy more. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your time where your mouth is.
Not just that. I also firmly believe that it's also about how you approach the situation. You don't have to like...
Don't be a hater.
You don't have to like whatever it is the other person is liking, but if you want them to listen to your music,
don't be a
show
hater.
them.
At least give it a
chance.
chance.
Is he not just saying don't be a hater?
Well, no, it's not. It's not. Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater.
Because
like, yo,
there's music.
Like,
there's music that I don't like that I'm not going to listen to.
I don't.
But I'm not going to approach you and be like, "Oh, yours is shit." It's about the approach.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, no, I wouldn't. I'm
now
actually
you
very.
Now you
no. Don't even try to throw that shit around. I enjoy listening to different types of music, but I do prefer my own.
Look,
and if I want you to listen to my artist, I'm gonna try to connect that.
We've recorded a lot together. All I'm trying to say is I don't actually think you should go listen to Lil Pump. I don't care if you listen to Lil Pump. The point isn't even to tell you to try Lil Pump. Mumble rap is not for you, and I hate the term mumble rap, but it's just to communicate with you. If it is not for you, get it. You don't have to like it. I'm saying that you actively hating it is making it stronger like a monster. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And it's don't be a hater. That's the crux of my point. And support your dude. And support local people. Because if we don't support like underground acts that represent the values or the ideas of what you want, like if you don't want to hear about traps, go find something. Go find a geek. Go find a nerdcore. Did you guys know that there's just a whole genre of rap about geeky shit? So if you're into that, go bump some MC Lars, man. Like, there's just so many options out there that you probably don't know about because you put zero effort into looking it up. That's all I'm trying to say. I have a lot more here. Do you have more?
That's pretty much it.
You barely talked. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mr. DJ Pyrotik?
Yo, I ain't got nothing, man.
All right, Adam's a little shy. It's his first time really doing this, so bear with him. He'll be back in the future, and you can encourage him in the comments to talk more. On that note, I guess thank you for watching this. This was a little bit of a willy-nilly. I was feeling passionate, and I just, Chris, we're making a thing. And he actually only found out the topic like right before we went on, and Adam... I haven't even seen him in a while. He just showed up. It just happened.
Howdy do.
So,
I'm coming over. Oh, okay. You're coming on a podcast.
Yeah, that's what it is now. So let us know if you like this video, if you want to see more topical stuff. More importantly, how do you feel about this subject? Let us know what kind of stuff like this you want to hear us talk about. And we want to try and get more of these out because they're super interesting and there's a lot to be said and a lot of stuff that isn't just reviews. And but really... I want to hear the conversation because this is one of those topics where maybe I've offended you, and if so, I'm sorry, but, just let me know on your side of it, and that's something I'm curious about.
For me, I actually kind of want your help. If you guys find any stories scrolling through the internet throughout the week or whatnot, and you want to just again, hit us up on Twitter or whatnot. Let us know what you want us to talk about. One of us could possibly go do some research about it and have a conversation with it.
You're saying hold in there.
No, I will do some research and I will make the effort to go and
okay, so basically let us know. We'll make it happen. Follow us on the Twitter. It's all in the bottom.
Somewhere down here right there.
They fully mentioned this and how they hated it in people. I'm just saying. Just saying.
No, we're not telling them to click the bell. No, we're telling them to follow us on Twitter, not to click the bell.
If you want more content, I will never tell you to hit that bell. I actually think it would be so annoying if you saw it. I want to post 7 days a week, man. You'll unsubscribe if you get every fucking notification I want to put out. So don't hit the bell. Subscribe. Find the shit you want and watch what you want. That's my message.
You have the freedom of choice.
That's it, dog. So I know 80 to 90% of the content on this channel you might not like. Cool. I respect that because I'd feel the same way if I were you. And in light of that, my empathy says, don't hit the bell. It'll annoy you, my friends, unless you really want to. In which case, well, I'll be flattered if you do.
And that's it for today's Critical Look.
Peace.
Take care, boys.